Dana Abercrombie, The Koalition. Thank you so much for speaking to me. I really love what is done with the magical elements of this movie, especially when it comes to the dolls and the look and the feel of them. Can you talk about the inspiration and the animation behind that?
Sure. A lot of what happened when we first started was how are we going to handle those guys? And there was so much back and forth. Sharon, the costume designer, came in. She was dressing the outfits, and we were like, can we get a glassy surface, or do they have to be wood? Or, I mean, weeks of work went into figuring out that look. And of course, for me, as the production designer, what kind of world is their village going to be? And how are we going to put them in that set within that bigger set? So there was a lot of work just back and forth. But, John Farhat working with ILM, Jason at ILM, just those guys were just bouncing these beautiful concept art pieces by us. And we got there, right? And they're great.
Right. Yes, yes, yes. And so I was wondering, was there any kind of inspiration that was pulled into the whole production design of, because you have different elements that's going on. You have like the what's going on with the Santa kind of world, and then with the real world, you have to make it still realistic-ish.
Yeah, I would say that was it. There was a whole element, Reggie's this incredible collaborator, and basically what happens is we focused on what is Candy Cane Lane? How is this world of this street like? When we first started, we went to Kelly, the writer's house, and he grew up with that street, and we went to many of those streets in LA, and that world just slowly developed. And then how does the magic creep in? How do we get the feeling of this so the kind of how Kringles is offset under the highway, and how we just let everything kind of magically, it's like a fishing lure to trap them in. And then of course you walk in and it's the biggest department store you've ever been in. So
Yeah.
just playing with all those elements to give you the feel of magic, but keep it grounded and real. We were always playing that.
Right. Now with Pepper, for example, you're dealing with someone who they're in disguise in terms of we don't truly know who they really are until later on. Um, can you talk about the slow kind of either with the color and the clothing reveal of that true nature of the character?
Well, it's funny, like there are just certain elements that we put in. And, I think Reggie, the way he had Pepper just pop up, he wanted it to like, everything was this, like you said, kind of a slow reveal.
Mhm.
And then for me, visual element wise, just the off-puttingness of how big the interior is compared to the outside. And if you look, there's an employee of the month portrait of Pepper
Right.
right behind the register. Like there are all these little things like ego type, evil mischief elf things that are peppered throughout the set to kind of, tip our hats to it.
Was there anything special that we don't necessarily see but was on the set?
I think there's Easter eggs all over the place. Like for me, I wanted Kringles to be like the timeless department store of all time. So there are things like I watched Laurel and Hardy's Babes in Toyland, and in it there's this scene where this cat's sitting next to a giant oil inkwell with a pen. So I put that inkwell, like elements of Hollywood Christmas are all through that department store. The lettering is from a 60s old department store in LA. Like everything is woven in every choice.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. You created true magic. So thank you so much.
Well, sweet. Thank you.